All right, welcome back. Our continuing coverage of Tropical Storm Lee. It's beginning to be a real nuisance, and we're just going to bring you different shots as we go along. We do have crews that are bringing video in. There's a shot down St. Charles, as you can tell, and this is what we were just talking about before the break. If we don't get any rain, and the rains remain light, then the pumps will keep up. You saw the big transit bus just pass. It's business as usual. The problem, once again, look at those winds coming straight out of the south. And they're brisk. They're fighting any tidal movement that would be moving rainwater out. So the more rains we get, those pumps are going to really be straining, really be trying to keep the water out. The ground is saturated. So we need a little help from Mother Nature to move this thing a little further on land to at least stop it from sucking in some of that moisture and at least give it a chance to start diminishing. So that's what we're hoping for at this point. And we're going to keep an eye on this Golden Meadow floodgate. And from the time I came on this morning at 8 o'clock to give you a new report to now, which is about an hour and 45 minutes past, the water has gone up probably about 3 inches, because I'm looking at that board. And it's a little hard to tell because you have some lapping of the water there, but it looks like about 3 inches. So Reggie, from looking at what you saw this morning, would that be accurate? About 2 to 3 inches, you think, an increase from about 8 o'clock this morning?
Yeah, I know from at the Bayou Terrebonne floodgate, it was 5.3 early this morning at high tide, and it's now 5.6.
Okay.
So
So that would be consistent.
yeah, that's about.
Okay, so there you go. So that any other cameras, Jay, that we can take a look at as we're about to go there? Is Assumption Parish, and we know we have a lot of friends and a big viewing audience in the Assumption area. That's a look from your tower cam in Assumption, and as you can tell, just everybody's under the same rain kind of situation, so it's not going to change one way. Although we have seen Grand Isle get most of the heavier squalls as we're looking at all this. So let's check out Grand Isle and see how they're looking right now. They need a little break. They've been getting hammered pretty good from the tail end over there. So let's take some calls too while Jay's loading up on that. Here we go. HTV, welcome to the program. Your question, please. Yes, you're on. Go ahead.
I stay in Chauvin, and
Put it up a little bit, Jay, in the control room, please. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, ma'am.
And the bayou is like 3 or 4 inches from overflowing, and I want to know where we have to go if we have to evacuate.
Okay, there is a shelter open on the East Homa Boundary Road. Okay, so East Homa Boundary Road, Jim, there is a shelter in Terrebonne Parish.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
HTV, you're on the air. Go ahead, please. All right. Obviously, he's listening from a computer, and I'm getting a ton of feedback. So remember, if we come to you and you're on a device that has the volume up, it's going to keep going back in my ear, and I won't be able to hear you. So let's try to take care of that. HTV, welcome to the program. Go ahead, please.
Danny's trying to get in with Jerry.
Hello, you're on.
Does Jerry go when?
Hello.
Yeah, he's waiting while you put that sign.
You there? Somebody's on, but they're talking to somebody else. Hello.
He said, "What Danny doing?"
Okay, people. Hello. HTV, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, this is Richard. I'm from Golden Meadow.
Hey, Richard.
I'm in Willis, Texas right now, a little north of Houston on vacation.
Right.
And I called. I have some people watching my home and everything, and I live right on the 4-lane, and my land borders the protection canal, and it's all dry. From what I understand, it's the bayou that's overflowing. Bayou Lafourche, they have all the locks closed. They have no way of pumping the bayou. It has to go through people's homes, go through the drainage canals to get past the 4-lane to get in the back to drain. And I just found it funny that there's we can pump the water all around the outside, but there's no way to control the volume. We have a flood lock system and all of that. And
Richard,
that just goes to show you there's the planning of a levee and all. When you have the low-lying area in the middle and you have bayous running all through your flood control system, when those bayous get high, they have to go through the neighborhoods to get to the protection levee canal. You can pump the protection levee canal, but you can't control the bayous.
There are 4 siphon, 48-inch siphons in Bayou Lafourche, but it only can pull down Bayou Lafourche 0.2 of a foot in 24 hours with no rain. Right. So it's not.
Yeah.
Wendell told me this morning the siphons are not even keeping up with the rainfall. So that's the problem. But there are 4. Bayou Lafourche can be pumped down when it's closed with these siphons, and they're all running. They have been running for the last 24 hours or more, 36 hours.
Yeah.
and Richard, on this certain phenomenon, and we've covered many storms with different phenomenons, but this one's a slow mover. It's got a storm surge to it. It's got a southern wind that continues to blow and won't move past us, and we got a lot of rainfall coming in, inundating north of the floodgates. So the phenomenon with this is a lot different, and it's a lot harder, to be quite honest, to control.
Yeah, to control the rainfall, right? Yeah, it has to pass through all the little ditches and everything to get back to the protection levee canal, And,
Yeah.
Anyway, over here where I'm at, it's bone dry. It's unreal. These people are just dying for any kind of moisture. They just can't get a drop of rain or get a break. And we getting all of that rain, and they were hoping it would come over here towards Houston, and I just don't see it coming over here. We had a little sprinkle over here last night. One thing I did notice, though, when I went to the store, 21.25 shrimp, head on, $9.99 a pound.
Wow.
Now, how you justify $1.50, $2 a pound down to buy it, when right here above Houston they're paying $9.99 a pound for head on?
Well, hey, I bet they would pay $100 a pound for water over there right now.
Oh Lord, look, we on a big lake, and I guarantee you it's 100 yards from the land. You can't even get to the water. It's a 100-yard beach.
Yeah, I know my cousin lives out there, and they haven't had rain in so long, and you're right, we're getting it all over here. But now let me ask you, are you able to catch us on the internet over there?
I'm watching Martin right now. That's why I was watching. I'm watching the Salafouche Bridge right now, and the water around there off the Port Commission building. I guess the camera's mounted.
Yeah, well, it probably has a little lag in it, but you're going to be seeing, we're looking at Grand Isle right now over here, but you're going to be seeing, probably has about a 30-second lag way over there, but we appreciate you watching us from way over there for sure.
Oh yeah, the people come by the campground and look at y'all, and they see my Louisiana tags. We were supposedly to go to Mobile, and I told my wife, I said, well, I never saw a storm go to the west, but we're going to go to the west where the sun is shining, and the front pass through. It's about 60 degrees with a breeze, just blue skies, a little bit of clouds, and dry as a bone. I mean, these poor people, I just wish they'd have got some of that rain from the storm that we're getting.
Yeah, we wish too.
They sure could use. And then I got relatives in Atlanta, Georgia, and they're waiting on it too. They're waiting on the rain. They must be about 14 or 17 inches below their rainfall levels, and all their lakes and all, and they're in a severe drought too. So hopefully when the storm starts turning, it's going to go and dump some water on Alabama and Georgia and all of that, because they really need it too. Seems like we get it all and nobody else gets any.
Well, we unfortunately, that's where we live. We know where we live, and we know it's coming eventually, and that's why we try to prepare. But it's hard to prepare for a little nuisance storm that just won't move anywhere.
Yeah, well, at 2 miles an hour and just sitting on top with the rain, I figured that we'd have a little bit of flooding from the rain. It takes a little while to get to the pumps, because we got some pumps that'll really pump some water,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you seem to have a good idea of how it works, so hopefully everything will keep up. But Richard, we appreciate you calling from Texas.
All right, and we'll keep watching you on the internet and keep everybody posted over here, and just hope everything works out. You know, like I say, we on vacation, so we're enjoying ourselves and just watching all the water down there. We didn't think it would be too bad, except just a bad rainfall, you know, as far as the winds and stuff like that. And the people at my house told me that everything's great, and you know, the yard's dry, the canals are draining. So, but I just wanted to give y'all a call from over here, you know.
Thank you, Richard.
So, all right, wish y'all the best of luck.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. HTV, you're on live. Go ahead, please.
My dad has a camp in Dularge, and he's freaking out because y'all never showed a clip. He wants to see how hot the water is.
Okay, yeah. Reggie, you want to talk about Dularge a little bit?
Where is
Where
this
at on Dularge? Where is it on Fisherman's Retreat area? I think we lost it, but she wanted Dularge in general.
She said she had a camp in Dularge?
Yeah, camp in Dularge.
Yeah, the water's not going to get high enough to get in any structure that was built in the last 10 or 15 years, because it was built to FEMA standards, and this is going to be nowhere near FEMA height levels. Dularge, I would expect, is going to get to maybe, I think on the outside of our floodgate in Dularge, it was like 4.7 compared to 5.6 in Lower Montague. Mm-hmm. So the problem with Dularge is just like Dulac. The Houma Navigation Canal is feeding it through, is feeding Dularge, and you have more flooding occurring coming from the east and on the HNC. So the areas along Highway 315 north of Faigo Canal probably has the most amount of flooding, and then it's probably coming over Dr. Beatrice Road. Mm-hmm. But that's all being funneled through the Houma Navigation Canal.
Okay.
I did get a text from Mindy Wazan. She stated that the water was coming up inside on the other side of the floodgate since 4 a.m. this morning. But like you said, that's expected with the southerly winds we're having and all this rain. And also a reminder, if you do go to the shelter, we want you to remember to bring your own medication and food. We don't have anyone staff there to cook, to provide any food, and we certainly don't have any doctors on staff, so please bring your medicine.
Yeah, I think the first 72 hours is on the people, and after that it takes effect. So, can we show a St. Charles shot, St. Charles Street shot, Jay? Because I heard the winds, look at the winds, pretty brisk. And those, they've been brisk for a while, so that's definitely a southern wind. What we'll do, let's go back to the phone lines. All the lines are lit up, and we're going to try to get as much questions in as we can to Reggie, who's been around all of that area, and Darren on the Levee District, and then Kyle continues to update
if you have that
us.
much wind here at St. Charles Avenue and St. Charles Street in Houma, you go down the bayou 20 miles, and you can add about 10 miles, 15 miles an hour to that.
Right. Let's go to Cocodrie, Jay. We got Wendell Curo on line 2, and we're going to get Wendell on in a second. Let's go to Cocodrie and see if we could see any comparison on the water. This will tell us a lot on this Cocodrie shot once we get to it, because we saw the water come in and go out yesterday. And let's just see how much water is coming in from the surge and the southern winds that are blowing. Okay, there you see it, and I got to tell you that this is not as bad as it was yesterday. So I'm not quite sure, Reggie, why would the phenomenon be? I mean, that was all underwater.
Because Cocodrie is surrounded by marsh. It comes in quick and goes out quick. It spreads. Yeah. When you get closer to the communities, and it will pile up a lot quicker.
Bring that up full screen, Jay, if we can. Look at Grand Isle in the middle of one of these feeder bands again. And that's our Grand Isle tower camera, which of course we've come to you many times from. But the Grand Isle, I mean, every tower camera we go to, that it just looks like nothing's happened. Every time we go to Grand Isle, they're like stuck on the end of that bad part of the feeder band, and they're getting hammered. And you can see definitely the winds on Grand Isle are definitely coming out of the southwest, so that they just stuck on that feeder band out there. All right, let's go to, we have Wendell Curol on the phone. Wendell, welcome to the conversation.
How y'all doing?
We're doing all right, but we're seeing a lot of different phenomenons that are going out. You can add to the discussion if we can, and I know there's a lot of, it sounded to me like the parish president, Charlotte Randolph, this morning was just real frustrated at this storm, and rightly so. It's a different storm. What's your take on it?
To me, it's like Juan. It reminds me of Hurricane Juan. It's a storm that Juan that we started with a heavy rainfall on a Friday night. I remember that really well. By Sunday on the 27th, this tropical depression, and Juan was a little bit further offshore, so it turned into Category 1 storm. We had constant rain. We probably got in the ballpark of 15 to 20 inches of rainfall in a 3-day period, and it pushed up the tides. And in fact, it was Juan that was the beginning of true flood protection in Terrebonne Valley. It was that storm that triggered all the things that have taken place and the improvements that have happened since that time. But that's what it reminds me of. It just doesn't want to let go. And it's frustrating and it's aggravating. Luckily, we're not having the strong winds that could, increase the chance of people losing their lives. The increase in water is slow enough that people are moving out of the way. So that's the good side. The bad side is just aggravating because the systems are not designed for this. Our pump system in South Foods is designed for 5 inches in 24 hours. Well, 2 days ago to noon yesterday, we had over 11 inches. Now, we had built up a lot of cushion. We had lowered the borrow canals, and we still, from 2 weeks of dry weather, had a lot of water to be absorbed. Well, when you get twice the capacity which you can pump out, it filled up everything, so we're full right now. And I'm just hoping we don't get some very, very heavy rain today. If we get past today, we might get by with very little or any house flooding. But I've passed a lot of passengers that still driving the time on the 4-lane highway. Water is crossing the road in Golden Meadow from the bayou. The bayou elevation has gotten above a +1 elevation. We don't let the bayou get above a +1. That's why we close the floodgates, and even without letting any outside water in, it's now at 1.5, 1.6. The water is entering on the 308 side and on the LA1. But the pumping has kept it from accumulating, so we still look pretty good when you stop on the 4-lane highway. Outside, we had as high as 4.5 feet yesterday. This morning, it was at 3, and I'm driving there right now just to eyeball it myself to see what the elevation is. But it looks like it's high. I'm looking on the outside of the system, and all of the boat launches, the parking lots are well underwater. So we have water all around us in South Foods. The tide in Intercoastal has risen. It was about at a 1.4, 1.5, and now it's +3. So we have 2 to 3 feet of water outside of our system around the whole system.
Yeah, no doubt. And I guess, Wendell, the thing about this storm, and I think you're absolutely correct, is that we need 2 things to happen. We need the rain to give us a break, and we need the tide to move out. And we need that to be done probably within the next, 6 to 8, 12 hours or so.
Well, that would be nice, but I tell you, what I've noticed, and again, this storm, they still, when you see no strong weather patterns to control it and let it run, there's no guarantee that anything's going to happen, because we just don't know when you get these storms where they just kind of sit around. It might hook onto something and leave quickly. That would be, of course, the best scenario. It's not what you're hearing. We can have it start to move, but we might still have some induced south winds that would not allow the tides to move out quick. It might move out slowly. But a lot of uncertainties as we go in there. So we got to make sure that everything works perfectly to reduce the problems that we have. But we can't control it. Right now, we get some heavy rains that doesn't move through. We've been pumping at full capacity. We've closed the floodgates. We're not allowing any traffic through, so no water's coming in from the outside. And right now, it's just make sure nothing breaks down, make sure we stay ahead of it, and hopefully we get a little help and get this system out of here.
And I'm going to let Reggie jump in real quick, because I know they have to go to a meeting. Go ahead, Reggie.
Wendell, this is Reggie, and Darren Guidry and I are on the desk with Martin here. There was a call earlier about the pumping capacity inside the between your floodgates, and I'm not that familiar with it, but there's 4. Don't you have 4 siphons? And you told me yesterday you were able to pump down 0.2 of a foot a day with these siphon pumps on the east side of Golden Meadow.
Yeah, when you look at the whole pump system, we can move 1.2 million gallons per minute. So we're at full capacity with that. But to help out control the level of the water in the bayou, we have a couple of siphons near Yankee Canal that we siphon water from the bayou into our pump system. And we use, that's about 100,000 gallons per minute. But that can only move it. We were draining an area of 1.9 square miles. And we can only move 2/10 of a foot in 24 hours with that 100,000 gallons per minute. So it takes a long time to get it down. We try to stay ahead of it, but with this storm, it's just impossible to stay ahead of it.
That we talked earlier, Wendell, about double handling water. So what you're actually doing there, you're siphoning out of Bayou Lafourche into your system on the east side and having to pump it out again, right?
That's exactly right. But
Yeah.
what's good about a siphon is you don't spend any money. I put a little vacuum pump on it. We start the siphon. It doesn't cost us an extra penny to at least move that water into the system. Now, of course, we have to pump it out. That same thing we pump out. And that pump station has been staying ahead of the water, which is working out. But our problem is we've not made really headway in reducing the height of the bayou. In fact, we have a permit to knock out a watered area that without half of the areas that we drain, we could isolate it. And again, permit systems, it's been 9 months out there, and we have EPA objecting to it. We have already mitigated, pre-mitigated everything, and they're still objecting to it, and they've laid us for 9 months. We think if we had that project in place, we'd had a chance of keeping the bayou in its bank. So that's frustration with even when you've already mitigated something, you still got to go through this process that's agonizing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, Wendell, we appreciate you joining us, and keep us up to date as things progress. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, y'all take care. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you. And I know you guys have to get going and go to a meeting. We appreciate everybody. Kyle, you going to hang with me a little bit and give me some more report? And thank y'all so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going straight to the phone lines. They're all lit up. We're coming right to you. Don't go away.